Hello YouTubers, it's Arya here. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a review on one of the medications that I've been on for, on and off for the past year. This medication is called Tramadol. Now, I know it's probably, one of those medications that you've heard of before. I believe it used to not be a controlled medication, but now it is. And I first started Tramadol last summer. My pain levels were about between a 7 and an 8. I really wasn't doing very much at all. Most of the days I think I would spend sleeping, getting up. I would stay in the same clothes all day, and I was non-functional because my pain was just constant and very severe. It interfered with everything. So at that point, my physiatrist, he prescribed 50 milligrams of Tramadol up to 4 times a day. So I would take Tramadol in the morning when I would wake up, in the afternoon like around 1 or 2, one around 5 p.m. and then one around like 8 p.m. So I needed to be on it like throughout the day. Granted, sometimes I didn't really if the pain was better, I wouldn't really take 4, so I take like 2 or 3 depending on what I needed, right? And this medication really did work very well for pain. I personally, in my opinion, I would compare it to Vicodin because Vicodin has worked really good for my pain too. I would compare it on being on the same level as Vicodin, except, well, maybe not the same. Vicodin is a little bit better when you're having, super severe flare-ups, but Tramadol is really good for moderate to light severe pain, as it was in my case. Maybe not for everyone, right? Because everyone is different, but for me, it worked really, really good. So, the side effects that I experienced with Tramadol were urinary retention. So I already have chronic urinary retention and I see interstitial cystitis. So I found that with Tramadol, I wouldn't be able to feel the urge to go to the let me rephrase it. With Tramadol, once I was in the bathroom, I wouldn't be able to go. I feel like I'd have to push it out because I just felt numb. Which is really weird to try to explain what that feeling is like. But basically, in my head, my head just felt like kind of like in another zone, and I just felt like numb. So I couldn't go, right? So that made the urinary retention worse for me, which is ultimately the reason why I stopped, as well as GI problems. So I also have GI issues like chronic constipation. Like years ago, I was told I had IBS and basically a sensitive GI system. So for me, Tramadol did make my GI worse too, especially because oftentimes I take Tramadol on an empty stomach because we're not really eating so much during the day, right? So eventually, about 3 weeks in, I started getting constipation, so I'd go every 2 or 3 days. And then I started getting really bad stomach pain, and then I ended up having black stool. So when I ended up having black stool, I knew what that meant, that there could be, possible GI bleeding. So that's when I knew that, I had to stop Tramadol. And then the urinary retention was also really bad. So at my worst, which I do believe it was Tramadol that made it worse, I had to get dilated and go to the ER because I did have that urinary retention, and Tramadol made it worse. And I don't know, things got really bad. I don't want to go too much into the whole urinary retention thing because it's like kind of boring for me to talk about, but those are 2 of the side effects that I experienced. When I did take Tramadol, I didn't feel so much like my head was in a different time zone like during the day. I would say if you're super tired if you're not getting enough sleep, Tramadol does have that effect where you kind of start feeling hazy and like zoned out. But you know, if you are getting your good quality of sleep and you are, you know, resting and you don't have like insomnia like I did back then, it won't, like, in my opinion, I don't think it would make you feel completely zoned out. I definitely felt a lot more in tune with my head being on Tramadol rather than Vicodin, rather than gabapentin and Lyrica, and like what was the medication I was recently on? Oh, Xanaflex, the nerve pain medication. Like Tramadol, just I could still think and process. It didn't make me feel like I was a zombie unless I was really, you know, tired and experiencing insomnia. So I actually I still have Tramadol, so I have started taking it again when, you know, when I have really bad pain flare-ups, but I do want to talk to my provider about being prescribed more. I don't know how that's going to go, because every time I've talked about, you know, like controlled medications, pain medications, I always get told no because of the whole addiction thing. And people, well, doctors nowadays, you know, they're not trying to prescribe pain medications, they want you to try different things. But that's another conversation. But anyways, what I'm trying to say is that Tramadol was effective for me, and you know, I did experience those negative side effects. But this last time that I was back on it, last month, because of this pain flare up that I had, I felt that if I took it every other day or maybe once a day versus 4 times a day, I felt I was fine. I did not get any GI bleeding this time, black stools, I didn't get any stomach pain, and I would take it with food this time. So things did get a whole lot better, and I went like a week or 2 being on it and I was fine. So definitely, you know, with Tramadol, I would recommend to take it with food. Definitely try to get quality of sleep, that way it doesn't make you feel, you know, drowsy or tired. I don't think I ever did experience nausea with the Tramadol, but you know, at the same time I did have underlying issues like my GI, the constipation, and but if I did take fiber, I would be fine, you know. So yeah, I hope you guys found this video helpful. This is just my experience with Tramadol, which is one of the medications that I really do like, that I'm going to ask to be put on back again, because it really did work. I would definitely say it definitely worked with my pain when it was like a light severe to a moderate pain level, like anywhere from like a 1 to a 7. I would say it would help really well. Not everybody's experience is, you know, the same, but in my case it really did help me, you guys. So let me know if you've had any experiences with Tramadol and how they worked for you, and I will see you guys next time. Okay, you guys, I hope you guys are really liking these medication reviews, and yes, just know, like, disclaimer, that not everybody is the same, not everybody reacts the same to, you know, the same medication, which I'm sure you guys know that if a medication works for someone, it doesn't mean it's gonna work the same exact way for the other person. So just wanted to put that out there. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you next time. Bye guys.